Okay guys, so this is the BQEYZ Topaz, alright? And usually when I go to KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, I prefer to order crispy as compared to original because I like it spicy, hot and spicy. And this one is more than hot and spicy. Let's talk about this a little bit more later. Hi guys, my name's Ian. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I do mostly audio product reviews, and if you guys are interested in this type of content, do consider to subscribe to my channel and click on the bell so that you get notified of my future videos. Okay, so let's go straight into this review, the BQEYZ Topaz, and it's retailing for 149.8 US dollars. And if you guys are interested, do check out the link down in the description below. So in this video, I'm going to go through the accessories, the fit and comfort, the specs, and also the sound performance of this IEM. So let's just go through the accessories first, right? So it comes in a box like this, right? So this is a pretty standard box with well, just a big name of the IEM on the outside, and it's got some specs at the back. So let's just go through the specs real quick. 13mm dynamic driver. The impedance is 32 ohms. The sensitivity is 108. The frequency is 5 to 40,000 hertz, and that's about it. Okay, so let's put the box one side. Now let's look at the accessories. It comes with paperwork, of course. Comes with a carrying case. So this carrying case is pretty standard. Hard shell with some fabric and a zipper. Okay, on the inside you do get some mesh pocket, so you can put your ear tips in there. Pretty standard stuff. You do get a cleaning brush. Okay, so this cleaning brush can brush away the dirt from your nozzle. And the cable, right? So I like this cable very much. It's a 4-core cable. Comes with cable management Velcro. The headphone jack is a straight type 3.5 headphone jack. The cable is really nice and soft. Okay, very smooth and nice to touch, nice to feel, and very comfortable. Unlike some other cables that is, rubbery, sticky, this one, it doesn't have that feel. Very nice feeling cable. The Y splitter is made of metal as well, and it's got a chin slider. Okay, the ear hooks is a little bit on the softer side, so you can actually conform to the shape of your ear, but it's on the softer side, a little bit flimsy. Okay, the 2-pin connector is made of metal as well. So this 2-pin connector, yeah, it's pretty standard. Okay, let's put that one side. Let's talk about the ear tips. So it comes with 6 different pairs of ear tips and 2 different types. So you have the wide bore, which is this one, and then you have your narrow bore. Okay, so if you want more bass, then you go with the narrow bore. If you want less bass but more treble, then you go with the wide bore. The quality of the ear tips are pretty okay, and I kind of okay with it. It's usable. In fact, I use it with the IEM itself. I don't change out or use my own tips. This tip is usable on the IEM. Okay, now let's talk about the IEM themselves. So this is a unique IEM. It's got 2 drivers in it, so it's a hybrid, and the unique driver on it is actually the Piezoelectric driver, and the other one is a 13mm driver. So the piezo driver actually sits on top of the 13mm driver, and this piezo driver has got 9 layers and is close with ceramic. This ceramic is a new technology. It's different from the old type of piezo electric drivers. So it actually reduces the harshness, the sibilance, and the shoutiness. Well, it's still a little bit shouty, but yeah, it does reduce those sore part of the treble, so which is a good thing. But yeah, it's a good driver. I really listen to it and I kind of like the sound of it. In fact, I like it very much in terms of the treble. Okay, so let's talk about the shell. So on the shell, outer shell, the faceplate, it does have the branding, the Topaz, the name of the IM. It's got a vent here. I'm not too sure if it's a vent. Can't really tell, but yeah, it's got a hole there. Okay, nice purple color, and I like the very classy look to it. Very unique and well, it's not unique, but it's a very classy look to the IM. On the inside is resin, and it's got a fin here. I'll talk about the fin here in terms of fit and comfort. The 2-pin connector is a little bit recessed. Okay, so just take note on that. The nozzle is a pretty wide bore nozzle. Okay, and that's about it. So you can see the driver on the inside here. Okay, I'm not too sure if you can see, but yeah, it's somewhere around here, and you can see the piezo is on top of it, this part here. Okay, yeah, and that's about it for the shape of this IM is pretty okay, pretty standard. I've seen quite a few IMs that has got this shape, pretty normal. Now let's talk about the fit and comfort. Okay, so this is where the fin came in play. I kind of hope that this fin here is a little bit shorter, a little bit flatter, doesn't plateau as much here, because it's actually resting on the inner ear of my ear, and it's actually pushing the IM out. So the IM doesn't seem to fit in my ear that well, but that's just my ear. It may be different from yours, but it does not give me any discomfort. This part here is pretty smooth. Doesn't press against the back of my ear and cause any fatigue. So that's the good point. So the shape of this IM is pretty good. It doesn't cause any pain, and it's comfortable to wear. It's just that it doesn't fit. I don't get a good seal, so that's why I need to keep adjusting to get that seal back because of this fin here. But other than that, it's a pretty comfortable IM to wear, and I can wear it the entire day. Okay, so let's talk about the sound of this IM. So for that, let me take out my graph. Be right back. Okay, so I'm back, and as you can see, I have graphed out these BQEYZ Topaz. But before I begin, just a disclaimer out there, the graph does not tell you the entire performance of that IM or that particular IM. It will just tell you how it sounds like in the frequency, but it does not tell you the technicalities, performance, the tone, and the timbre of the IM. Okay, so let's begin. In fact, let's talk about the technicalities of these IMs first. In fact, it's really good. All right, so I find that the technicalities of the Topaz is above average, very good. In fact, of course, it's not as good as some more expensive IM, but it's above average and it performs really well. The soundstage is really wide. It's got a very deep soundstage. It's got an airy feel to it. The sound separation is good, and it's got some layers to it, so you can actually hear the separation of the instruments. They are not like jumbled in a cooking pot. It's not like in all together, so you can actually separate the sound. The imaging is really good as well, so you can pinpoint the positions of the instruments. So I would say technicalities for this is really good. The detail retrieval and resolution is also above average. I wouldn't say it's fantastic, but it's very good. You can actually hear the nuances of the details, and the resolution is really clear, especially for the treble. There's extra juice on the treble. Okay, so in terms of technicalities on these IMs, it's really good. Okay, and I really do appreciate it, and it's for the price that they are asking for. It's really reasonable with that they deliver this type of technicalities. Okay, so let's talk about the sound signature. So this the tuning of this is a little bit on the W shape, so it's not really a V shape or U shape, or it's not balanced. It's a little bit on the unusual side. Okay, so the bass is a little bit elevated, the trebles elevated, the mids is a little bit recessed. It's not by a lot, but you can see it's recessed, and the trebles elevated at double elevated in terms of the presence, and the mid treble and the air. Okay, so in terms of the tuning wise, it's a little bit unique in the tuning. Now let's talk about the sub bass. Sub bass is present, but it's not very present. Okay, but it's still elevated. So rumble is present. You can hear the rumble. The rumble in terms of the tone and the timbre is more of a natural, more than neutral, natural, less than warm. Okay, so it's not a very warm sounding IEM. It's not also a very dry sounding IEM as well. So somewhere in between. The rumble is nice, got good rumble, it's got good resonation. It extends well, and it's got good note as well. It's not a heavy note, but a more natural note in terms of the note weight. The mid bass is really forward. Okay, so this is where the mid bass is more prominent in the mix itself. The mid bass is thumpy, it's got a punch, and it's got that impact, and the impact is like a natural type of impact. It's very prominent in the mix. So I would say the focus is on the mid bass here. So if you're listening to a lot of thumpy songs, a lot of songs with a lot of impact, you will feel by using this IEM, you'll feel that mid bass very prominently. The note weight is more natural. It's not a warm or heavy type of note weight. It's pretty normal. It's not too light, not too heavy. For the mids, okay, mids is now if you look at the graph, it looks recessed, but actually because the bass is not as forward, but the mid bass is quite forward, you can feel that it's on the same level plane, almost the same level plane, but it still sounds a little bit further back from the mid bass as compared to some other IEMs. Okay, so in terms of the mids, like the instruments, the violins, the pianos, the trumpets, the flutes, the guitars, especially electric guitars and trumpets, they do sound forward. The reason being the treble here is actually helping them, and also because there's some extra juice to the treble because of the piezoelectric driver. So on the graph, it does look that like it's a little bit recessed, but it's not. Certain instruments, they may sound laid back, okay, like the pianos and sometimes the guitars, okay. But other than that, the treble that helps the trumpet and the electric guitars, they do have that presence and that sparkle in the mix. So and also they sound very crystal clear, very nice and clear and separated. They have got that good separation from the mix itself. You can hear that sound separation of the individual instrument. Okay, so in terms of mids, it's a mixed bag for me. Some of the instruments, they sound a little bit laid back. Some other instruments on the higher octaves, they sound forward and energetic. For the vocals, right? So male vocals, again, it's a mixed bag for me. So for male vocals, you have that really low sounding male vocals, and you got that really high pitched male vocals as well. So for the low sounding male vocals, they sound a little bit laid back, okay? But for male vocals with a high pitch voice, they sound energetic, they've got that presence. But both, they don't have that authority, they don't command the authority in the mix. They do have that energy there at times for the higher octaves male vocals, but in terms of presence, they a little bit laid back. Note weight is fine. They sound natural. They are not warm. They're not very heavy note weighted type of voice. Okay, so the presence is okay. For the female vocals, I would say female vocals, they shine. They have that sparkle. They energetic. They got that brightness in the mix itself. Why? It's because of the treble. So for female vocals, I really enjoyed listening to female vocals on these IMs. They sound really fantastic, and with the especially Japanese songs, Japanese female vocals. I mean, they're not screechy, okay, but they sound really clear. The treble, the high pitch sound really clear. Some may find it shouty, all right, but most of the time, they sound energetic, they sound sparkly. Okay, so for female vocals, I really do enjoy listening to them on these IMs. Now, for the treble, okay, so treble is where this IM shine. Of course, because of the Piezoelectric driver, the sound of the treble, it seems to have that they have their own power, their own driving force. Okay, it's a little bit different from the rest of the frequency. They sound separated from the bass and the mids, and it's like they have their own power to it, and that extra juice to the treble. But that doesn't mean that they sound sibilant or shouty or bright as sibilant. Okay, so I mean, they have that brightness. They sound really energetic, right? Simple strikes and hi-hats that's got that crystal clear sound. That crash is really nice and clean. The brightness and the energy that this treble brings is really forward. So in terms of the treble, I can hear that it's very different from the rest of the IMs that I've heard before. Some may find it shouty, right? Some may find this treble shouty, but it is not sibilant and it is not harsh. Okay, so I think sometimes it depends on the track. It's a little bit fatiguing, but for me, I like my treble really nice and forward. So I really enjoyed this type of treble. It's really unique. You will not find this type of treble on some other normal single dynamic drivers or even electrostatic drivers. Okay, but it's really a unique experience. Okay, so that's for my entire impression of this IEM. Okay, I think the star of the show is of course the treble, and of course the mid bass, right? So the mid bass on this is really punchy and unique, and you feel that impact when you're listening to your music. And the songs that I listen to usually on these IMs is actually mostly jazz, Japanese songs, and classical, right? And EDM, okay, EDM as well. But for like heavy metal and pop songs, R&B, drum and bass, I mean they're okay, right? But I do prefer listening to jazz and EDM and female vocals on this for that matter. So do I recommend this IEM? Well, I have to be honest, this is not for everyone. Alright, so it's for those who love treble, the treble heads. If you like treble, and if you like, of course, they throw in a dash of mid bass here to entice those people who like impact and the mid bass. So if you like mid bass and you like treble, then I would recommend this IEM. But if you are sensitive to treble, then this IEM may not be for you, but you can actually dampen it. But I don't recommend that. But if you really like treble, right? Treble is the name of the game of this IEM. Again, it's not sibilant, it's not harsh, it's bright, it sparkles, and it's energetic, and it's got a unique experience, listening experience in terms of the treble. It's got that extra juice. Okay, so yeah, so I do recommend this for the treble heads. Alright, so that concludes my impression and my review of this BQEYZ Topaz. And if you guys learned something from this video and or enjoyed this video, do consider to give this video a thumbs up, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click on the bell so that you get notified of my future videos. So if you guys again are interested in this IEM, do check out the link down in the description below. Right, so that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day ahead, and I'll see you again in my next video. Cheers.